am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
We live in a world where we have the thing called the internet. People have been using the internet for the last 30 years, since the late 80s, early 90s. Got online communication. So somebody sent me something in an email, and it's a lady from the Turn Chicago Red, and she's over there talking about, she's ranting and raving about the Africans, and the Africans need to be quiet and so forth. I really want to say this. Y'all making things worse, not better. You think that what you're calling out is something of importance. And why, oh, Senator so and so, council member so and so, I asked for a hate crime bill for black people. Oh, you got too many uninformed people speaking. You got too many people around here who are misinformed. And that's scary. Living in a republic, living in a constitutional republic, living in a liberal democracy. You're grossly misinformed. See, people are going to remember. People are going to remember the early years of the 21st century as what the hell happened. And it seems like ever since 9/11, since 2001 till today, that the world just came mad. We slowly losing our freedoms. We slowly losing common sense. We slowly losing the we slowly losing trust. We losing faith in things, and we lost our damn mind. And I try to tell these people, ever since Tyreek created the FBA movement, I don't want to hear shit about deviations. Y'all need to start having a mind of your own. Talking about the hate crime bill, right? Let me help your asses out. Let me help y'all out, right? Let me go ahead and do this because I don't got time to argue, right? I don't got time for this, right? So now I know it's WikiSource. It's WikiSource because if I drag out the original bill, it's a long ass bill, and it's really is a part of the National Defense Authorization Act of fiscal year 2010, right? So what they did, it's called Division E. They snuck. This is a rider bill that they snuck into another bill, right? So the short title is Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Hate Crimes Prevention Act. Now I know what some of y'all going to say. Now I remember 2 years ago, I brought this up again. I brought this up. One of these clowns going to tell me, well, you know, Big J, they put a gay man, an LGBTQ man, before they put one above a black man. I just like, my God. Anyway, it gets on my nerves. And it says this, right? Findings. Now, when it says findings, if you know about legal and law, when they do findings, when it says findings, they're talking about the evidence, right? The evidence. The evidence. Incidents of violence motivated by actual or perceived race, color, religion, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, and disability of the victim pose a serious national problem. Now, these are the findings, right? Now, I'm not going to read all of this, you know. I'm not going to read all of this. Now, oh, man, they don't sit there, man, and, you know, Big J, they don't mention about there's no black hate crimes bill. Okay. You know, you hear Phil Scott and Vicky Dillard, they always say that, right? For generations, the institutions of slavery and involuntary servitude were defined by race, color, and ancestry of those held in bondage. Slavery and involuntary servitude were enforced both prior and after the adoption of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. Though widespread public and private violence directed at persons because of their race, color, and ancestry and perceived race, color. See, now, but Big J, man, that's good and all, but it doesn't say black. It doesn't say black people in it. And y'all let these clowns online. Y'all let these clowns online. Y'all let these fools and clowns tell you there is no bill addressing what happened to black people, aka African Americans. That's why when I see some of you people getting on panels and just say there is no hate crime bill for black people, when it surely said it right there in front of you, it doesn't say black people, it says those. Hold on, let's read it again. Let's read it again, because context clues for generations, institutions of slavery and involuntary servitude were defined by race, color, and ancestry of those who are held in bondage. Which means who? Which means who? On Section 7. It doesn't have to say black people. It already tells you what it is. The 13th Amendment of the Constitution. And it says at number 8, both at the time with the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments to the Constitution of the United States were adopted and continue to date the number of certain religious and national origin groups and are perceived to be distinct races. See, they already telling you the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments, right? but Big J, there's no black people in it. It doesn't say FBA. It doesn't say African Americans. It's just defined right here on Section 7. Then it talked about slavery in the 13th Amendment. That did what? Abolish slavery. But y'all listen to these clowns like Phil the Advice Show and Tariq Nasheed, Victor Dillard, and y'all just regurgitate on these live panels. I'm gonna say something. These live panels, these live streams. I'm going to say this right now. It has a dumbing down effect. Okay, there's a dumbing down effect. I'm gonna say this too. I'm gonna say this too. Right. I'm gonna say this straight up. You know what I'm starting to believe? You know what I'm starting to believe? I'm starting to believe this is a social experiment. I think these live panels are actually social experiment to gauge the population, right? I'm starting to think that these live panels are exist to gauge people on how the powers to be to respond. I think that the powers that be do not desire a well-informed population. I actually believe, because since YouTube lost that lawsuit, since YouTube and Facebook has lost that lawsuit last week, I hope that that kind of proved my point that they only want the ignorant people to have a voice. They only want the ignorant. They want the ignorant and the slow to talk. Because if it was no such thing as the internet or social media as we know it, there is no bottleneck of information. You know, there will be a bottleneck of information. Some people will be filtered out. So every time I hear a major content creator said there is no hate crimes bill for black people, that should let you know. Okay, there's no hate crime bill for black people. That should let you know we having a problem here. Okay, in the same way, like the whole idea of the Democratic Party created the Ku Klux Klan. That's half a truth. As if the Democrats were the only political party in the South after the Civil War, when y'all forgot about the Whigs. The Whigs was just as pro-slavery and pro-white supremacists as the Southern Democrats. But you try to tell these people, people don't want to listen. They they want to simplify things rather than look at the layers of layers of things. And then I'm gonna talk. I really want to go in on this Nick Cannon thing, right? I really want to go off on this Nick Cannon, but I really want to go off on Nick Cannon. However, I want to tell, if I was in front of Nick Cannon, I'll ask Nick Cannon, what is who is the Whigs? Then I would ask him, what's the compromise of 1850? Who was president during the compromise of 1850? Then I would ask him, who was Henry Clay? Then I would ask him, who was Rutherford B. Hayes? Then I would ask him, what's the stalwarts versus the half-breeds? Then I would ask him, what's the tag that the black and tan the black and tan or organization, the organization that's called Black and Tan. Those are outside of the Democratic Party. Well, with the exception of the Black and Tan was a response to the racism in the Republican Party and the Whig Party. The Whigs became Republicans. See, we live in a world where information is at our fingertips, but people want to go ahead and just say dumb shit. What's going on, Hammer Time? See you in the chat room. I know it's Saturday morning. People probably still sleep, but I gotta get this off my chest. I gotta get this off my chest because it's so stupid what I'm hearing. It's so stupid what the hell I'm hearing. It's dumb. All right? It's dumb. And this is the reason why we have Donald Trump as president. Childish. But you got a bunch of mud seals tag teaming with the ignorant Negroes. You got the mud seal whites, the evangelicals, the ignorant Negroes, and then we have the social media barons. That's what created Trump. That's why Trump is messing this country up with his tariffs and these wars. I just wish that y'all will go back to school and look up the term context clues and adverbs, adjectives, and the like. Context clues is right there on section 7 and section 8 of the bill, of this law. Doesn't need to say black people. It already exists. They already identify who they're talking about without saying the word black. Why? Because it will be unconstitutional if you say the word black. or say use the term this is solely for African Americans, or it's solely for gays, or it's solely for insert group. Section 7, Section 8 identify who they were referring to. You know, and listen to that woman in Chicago just ranting about there's an Asian crime bill, but there's not a black crime bill. And you know what? Some of y'all going to sit here and say, Big J, well, Big J, there is a Asian crime bill. Now, y'all going to see. Now, when I'm about to show you, y'all going to say, aha, Big J. Ah, we got you, Big J. We got you. Da-da. Okay. We're going to go over here because I'm going to teach y'all and educate y'all about laws and bills. Now, this is a Senate bill. This is a Senate bill, right? 117th Congress of the United States at the first session. This is 2021. What does it say right here? The act shall be cited as COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act. It doesn't say Asian hate crime bill. It says COVID-19 hate crime bill. Hate crime act. Now, I know y'all going to say, now here are the findings. Again, the findings on section 2 is the research part. Just like over here, and let's go back over here where it says findings on a bill is the research part, what they find on committees. Like section 7, section 8, it talked about the descendants of slaves on section 7 and 8. Let's go right back to the so-called Asian hate crime bill, the so-called. Let's go back over here, because I know somebody, some of y'all so damn hard headed. That's why I can't stand you grifters online. Now it says, following the spread of COVID-19 in 2020, there has been a dramatic increase in hate crimes against Asians and Pacific Islanders. This is just the research part. Okay? But guess what the bill is called? COVID-19 Hate Crime Act. Okay? Now, if you go, they talk about all what happened the last six months prior before the bill was passed, right? Now, does the rest of the bill say anything about Asians? Does the rest of the bill from section 3 on forward says anything about Asians? All it talked about is COVID-19. People being deleted hard on the basis of the pandemic. Then it says right here, it's also talking about another crime bill. The other crime bill that happened on 2021, the same year. Does it say anything about rape? Guess what it does? It also cited the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Hates Crime Act Division E of Public Law 11-84, 123 Statute 2835, which is what I just read over here. What I just read right here. What I just read right here. Okay? I'm getting tired of people not knowing the law and yet getting on panels and making YouTube shows saying there is no such thing as a hate crime bill for black people. That last bill cited this bill. The COVID-19 bill cited this bill. There was nothing new was added. All it did is change, the fact, the information, and then added more strictening guidelines and sentences. That's all it did. And asking hold on. Let me scroll up. It asked the Attorney General. More. It give the Attorney General of the United States more powers. That's all it did. All you gotta do is read. All you gotta do is research. All you gotta do is sit there and look things up. That's all you gotta do is look things up and read it for yourself. I don't understand why many of y'all get on. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I meant to share this. Document because if you read some of the bill, it actually give more powers to the Attorney General. Yes, it gave more powers to the Attorney General. Let me say it again, because you had to scroll down. It's giving see, and when I said cited, look, Hate Crime Statistics Act and the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Hate Crimes Prevention Act, Section E of what I just showed you prior. I don't understand why y'all don't get it. And y'all out here protesting on City Hall. Y'all protesting on City Hall, demanding a hate crime bill for black people when it already existed. That's like some of these manosphere guys talking about child support. The child support laws already had been taken care of 4 or 5 years ago. Why y'all still complaining? Why y'all still complaining? I'm talking about these manosphere nuts. Why y'all still talking about child support laws when what your ass words already have been passed in some of these states? Anyway, I just look at y'all with such disappointment. I really do. I just look at y'all with such disappointment. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to read. If you can read the chat room of a live stream, if you can read the comment section of a YouTube video, you can go and research, go on Senate.gov, House.gov, go to any American government website, and they'll bring you bills and laws like this. Just saying. me get out of here. I had enough. Yeah. Let me stop sharing. Let me get out of here because I had enough saying what I got to say for this rant. Y'all just, I just, and we gotta save this country from itself. Damn. Let me get out of here. I got an interview coming up. I'm out.
I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.